Good morning, everyone. Thank you all for coming. Not sure why you're here, but I know why I'm here. Real quickly, since today is an extraordinarily special day and talking about breaking down barriers, just want to give a quick shout out to my guys, Harvey, Casey, for doing extraordinary work, for bringing this project together. Two gentlemen back there. Guys, raise your hand. Everyone needs to know who you are. They really know how to make your building look and feel sexy, to the point where I'm actually jealous because now I want to move in here. And, so phenomenal work, gentlemen. Thank you all so much. So we're here to do a couple of things, most of which is unveiling the Todd A. Lee Senior Building here on Kennedy Street. To think that this was actually the very last event that took place on this site right before the pandemic. And here we are, opening up this building right after the pandemic. I've always wanted to say this, even though I just realized what it is, which is, wouldn't he do it? I'm sorry, isn't there some sort of response that comes with it? Yes, he will. Would he do it? I've always wanted to say that. Where's Jason? Is Jason here too? I know Jason. Well, Jason's part of the crew. So, years ago, Corey Powell. Is Corey here? Corey's our secretary. We call him Secretary Powell. So Corey is really the brain trust behind Dante's Partners. And, Corey asked me this question years ago, and he said, Bua, who do you turn to for business advice? He says, I know who I turn to. That's you. But who do you turn to? That stuck with me for a while until I met Todd Lee. Until Todd Lee came into my life, he was that guy that I could turn to for business advice. He was an extraordinary human being. And by the way, just so that everybody knows, I have, 4 very, very tight-knit, close friends. And it takes all 4 of them to make up one Todd Lee, just so that everybody understands just how much of a figure he was, how much of an extraordinary human being he was. He was kind, he was thoughtful, he was funny, he was extremely passionate about his family and about his work. For me, it was wow. We have another unicorn, a black man in D.C. that eats and sleeps real estate. Todd was more than just a brother in real estate. He was our angel that always hovered over us all when we needed him the most. As much as we are here to celebrate this beautiful 38-unit senior building, we are also here to celebrate everything that Todd embodies. Be caring for our seniors, because this is what this is about. Be daring in what you do, which is how we were able to bring H2 and Broughton together in ways that had never been done before in this manner. And most of all, be kind, which is what DACD, under the leadership of Polly, DCHFA, under the leadership of Christopher Donald, DAMPAD, under the leadership of John Falcerchio, and obviously the folks that I beg for money all the time, Wells Fargo and Chase. That's what they've done to help bring this project to fruition. They have been kind. Regardless of how unfamiliar and or challenging things might get, and we all experience, given especially what we all experienced during the pandemic, I've always had Todd's voice in my head saying, "What you gonna do, Brewer?" That's exactly how he says it. "What you gonna do, Brewer?" Knowing that I have no choice, we have no choice but to continue to honor him like we're doing today, I will keep leading because I know I could turn to you then and will always do. So thank you, Todd, for being in my life, for being in our lives, and for giving us the opportunity to be able to honor you here in front of your family as well as your colleagues. Thank you. If there's one thing I know with Todd, especially with what we just went through this year, I know he would agree that we've been led by an amazing woman that we call our Mayor of the District of Columbia. So everyone, just a quick round of applause to our Mayor. Thank you. So I have the distinct pleasure of introducing Miss Terry Hill. What you don't know is, no, you can come up. I'm very, just like you, I'm very eager to have this building completed such that you can call it a home. I understand that not only have you been visiting the property on a regular basis to check in on the status, thank you, but I also remember that, I believe you called the other day when there was an unfortunate incident that happened on 9th Street.
My daughter called me and told me about that, and I was like, oh my God.
No, it's not your building.
I didn't want it to be any building for real.
No, I know. Well, ma'am, given all that it took to make this project happen, the spirit surrounding this building and the players involved in this building will forever make sure that this building stands the test of time. Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Terry Hill, please.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. Oh boy. Okay, so bear with me here. I'm not a public speaker, and I'm a little nervous. I have my support out there to just wave to me. So first, I'd like to thank God for my blessing and everyone who played a part in making my dream come true, because this is a dream. Won't he do it? Yes, he will. Amen. Yes, he will. Okay, so the first thing that hit me was, who is Todd Lee? I wanted to know more about him. And I Googled him, and all this information came up. I was like a little overwhelmed. And then I saw that he had passed away, and it was just like yesterday, and my heart kind of sunk. And so as I kept reading, and I watched a few videos of people congratulating him on an award that he received. So from what I read and the videos that I saw, in my head I said, this was a big man with a big smile, a big heart, and a big advocate for affordable housing. I'm a to the bone, go-go loving, native Washingtonian. I was born in Ward 8, and we moved across the bridge to Ward 7, starting my preteens. And I love D.C. I love D.C. to the core. And for D.C. to have the programs that they have for communities like I grew up in is a blessing for those who get the information. And I was asked about that. I share everything I get as far as information, what DC has to offer. If I know about it, then I'm passing it on for sure. So anyway, let me get to Mr. Lee again. And basically, I feel privileged, and condolences to his family, because I know you said that they're here. My heart goes out to you. I lost my parents 7 months apart. It's been a long time ago, but it still seems like yesterday. And I'm privileged to live here in a building with his name on it. I feel honored and blessed to say, for somebody to ask me, where do you live? I'm going to say the Todd A. Lee Senior Residence. And then when you put that in, 809 comes up. So, you know, and I said last night to myself, every time somebody say his name, an angel gets their wings, you know. But I'm so appreciative of all his hard work, everybody's hard work that played a part. I thank you all. And secondly, I want to say thank you to 3 young ladies that was there from the beginning of this process for me. And the first one is Miss Marquita Howard. She represents the company well. She's very professional, and everybody has been just beautiful to me. It's just a blessing. The second one is Miss Antoinette Proctor. That's the middle person. That's the middle person. Sweetheart, they all are. Young ladies, I'm proud of you. Your mothers and your parents should be proud of you. Tessa Edison, thank you. I thank you all. Okay? So, to keep this short and to get me off of here, I'm going to go ahead and do my thing here. Okay, so, in my book, we have a bunch of heroes. You can be a hero by giving somebody a glass of water or saying a kind word. But then there are superheroes. In my book, she's a super hero. I am so proud of what our mayor has been doing since she has been in office that sometimes it brings me to tears, because I grew up in those areas that need the most help. And she's doing big things and helping a lot of people. And you're a caregiver. Caregiver just doesn't mean taking care of somebody that needs help, that's sick. Caregiving is broad. It's very broad. And she's a great caregiver. Okay, and my last and final thing, I love her because she stands up to bullies. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, our mayor, Muriel Bowser.
Congratulations. Congratulations. Well, good morning, everybody. And aren't we blessed to be here today in celebrating the memory of Todd Lee? And I want to add my appreciation to Todd. Add my appreciation to his family, Mrs. Lee, who's here, and his kids, who we just adore. And feel very, very good about BUA being here to talk about senior affordable housing on Kennedy Street in Ward 4. So all of those things together make me very, very happy. Aren't you happy, Ward 4? You know, I have a set of remarks here, Terry. I can tell you're going to like this because this, where you're going to live, it became a vacant lot. A vacant lot that had a lot of problems, including a spring underneath it that nobody knew about. And neighbors wanted Councilmember Todd, Brandon Todd, and I to fix it, and to fix it right away. This lot, Polly will remember, had my attention on day one of my administration as mayor. My directive to my team was to buy the lot. I don't remember how much it cost, but we had to buy it and take it back and reclaim it so that people could live here. That's the odyssey of 809 Kennedy Street Northwest. I could go a little bit further back about how there was a demolition of a building that, probably could have stayed, but that's okay because this is where we are today. And I'm very, very proud of Dante's partners and team for being the development team that took a very complicated project and made it happen. So let's give them a big round of applause. And this is a part. There was another lot on Kennedy Street that was also notorious up in the 500 block that we've also taken back. And now people are calling that home. And so we have, over the years, over my 15 years of being involved in transforming Kennedy Street, are realizing a vision that was started in the community, supported by the community, led by the community, and the community will hold us accountable. Am I right, Ward 4? I know it. And so that's why we are going to stay focused on making sure that we continue to realize that vision. That is housing, that is recreation, that is retail, that is culture, and that is beautiful and safe. And that is our charge here. It's also our charge to deliver on a promise to create 36,000 new homes by 2025, with at least 12,000 of them being just like what we have here, affordable for D.C. residents. Just yesterday, we released our plan to end homelessness in D.C., to make it rare, brief, and non-recurring for D.C. residents, in our Homeward D.C. 2.0 plan. Of course, all that work goes hand in hand to make sure we can grow our middle class and make sure everybody gets what everybody deserves in D.C., and that's a fair shot. A fair shot for the deep in the bones, go-go loving Washingtonians. To the Washingtonians who've been here for 5 minutes or 5 generations like my family. But we have to be intentional about the work that we do. I told my team they've gotten so good at so many different things that people think that it happens by accident. It doesn't happen by accident. We didn't end up here today because we wished that something happened with that vacant lot, or that we wished that the property owner who was happy just to sit on it wouldn't move off of it, or we wished that somebody would build something that was going to be affordable for seniors. Somebody check her ID, by the way. You're supposed to be a senior. So we've been intentional about getting these projects done, and you have my promise that we'll keep pushing. But we need all of our partners, including our nonprofit partners, our faith-based institutions, to push with us. And that is exactly what we will do. Deputy Mayor Falchicchio will tell you more about this. And I said I usually just call him John, but I decided that everybody should know how to say his name. John Falchicchio, like little chicks, Falchicchio. And today, our nonprofit partners have another opportunity to develop and help develop projects like this. They can apply for the latest round of Oramenta Newsom, another huge force in affordable housing development in D.C., and they can apply for the Oramenta Newsom pre-development loans. We've committed $2 million to the program and streamlined the application, music to everyone's ears, to get the money out the door faster. And that's not all. You heard me say we need all of our partners helping. And whenever we have a problem to solve, we also look to our faith community to help us. They played a big role in affordable housing. They played a big role in getting D.C. residents vaccinated. And we know that they're more eager to do projects like this one on the property that they own, and to tap into some of the really big investment dollars that their faith organizations have. So we've gotten a lot. We have a lot to celebrate today. I look forward to many more projects like this, and many more projects like this will be possible because now, when the council votes on my budget, we'll have $400 million in the Housing Production Trust Fund. That's big. I mean, that's big, really big. So to say a little bit more about my big budget proposal and affordable housing in Washington, let me introduce the Deputy Mayor for Economic Development, John Falchicchio.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. So first I want to tell you a little bit more about this project where we stand today. Mayor Bowser, I think I looked up some articles from 2010, and it actually stated that in the alleyway there was actually raw sewage coming up from the ground. So the mayor said it was a well. It was raw sewage coming up from the ground. And the article actually says that then council members Bowser's office put pressure on city agencies to make sure that this was cleaned up and addressed. So to be here today with you as mayor, delivering affordable housing for our seniors, that deserves another round of applause. So with that, let's talk to you a little bit about, and thank you, Mrs. Lee, for being here. I know Todd's looking down at us and saying, Bua, Chris, John, why are you sweating so much? And he's laughing at us right now. But whenever folks think of the Todd A. Lee Senior Residences, I want them to know that it'll consist of 38 apartments. Those are going to be available for seniors who are making 50% or less of the area median income. And those units, all of these units are reserved for those making those aged 55 or older. So there's going to be one efficiency as well as 37 one-bedrooms. There's also going to be 1,000 square feet of retail space because this building is not just for the residents who live here, but for this community. 1,000 feet of retail space of community serving retail that DEMPED has granted $150,000 from the Neighborhood Prosperity Fund to put forth that retail. And there's also about 1,700 square feet of common area space because Miss Hill is going to be throwing parties at this building as well. She's also asked for a unit on a higher floor with a lot of natural light, and I promised Miss Hill that we'd make sure that that happens. But this project actually was funded in part by the Housing Production Trust Fund. So you heard Mayor Bowser talk about the Housing Production Trust Fund. She mentioned that this year a historic investment of $400 million in the Housing Production Trust Fund. So each year the mayor had been putting $100 million for the last 6 years. That's $600 million. But in this budget alone, there's $400 million, putting us over $1 billion. What that means is projects like the Todd A. Lee Senior Residences, this project receives $7.5 million in order to make sure that this building could be built, but also that this could be reserved for our seniors and our seniors who need it most. So we're really excited that the mayor has made that investment. And then really just wanted to reiterate, there are now $2 million available, and this comes out of the Housing Production Trust Fund, for the Oramenta Newsom Pre-Development Loan Program, which allows nonprofits and limited equity co-ops to have funding to do pre-development work. So what that pre-development work means is when you see a lot, like you saw here years ago, you see that lot, you need money to do plans, right, to design what you want to build there. Nonprofits and limited equity co-ops now can apply through DHCD. Polly Donaldson's here. Let's have Polly raise her hand. And if you're a nonprofit or a limited equity co-op, Polly could get you the application. But also, this is a new initiative, too, that the mayor mentioned, which is a faith-based housing initiative. It's not just faith-based, but it's place-based. So we want to work with faith-based institutions, the heat is tying up my tongue, to make sure if they have a location near their house of worship. So we know a lot of churches have parking lots or other land that's maybe not as vibrant as it should be. We want to work with them so there's $1 million available for those institutions to apply so that they can take what may be a parking lot or an underutilized lot and make that into housing just like we see here today. So that's a new program that we're launching here today, and Todd, I know, would be proud of that as well. So with that, I want to bring up somebody who is also an advocate and a champion of affordable housing in the district, who partnered with BUA and all the folks behind us here, all the folks listed behind us here, in order to deliver on this project. And that is Mr. Keith Brewer of the 8th Street Corporation, Kenneth Brewer of the 8th Street Corporation, who actually is here with us on Kennedy Street today, but was also with us on Southern Avenue just a few weeks ago to cut the ribbon on a new assisted affordable senior housing development on Southern Avenue. So he knows a little bit about affordable housing. Let's bring him up to hear more about this project today.
Well, first I want you to give yourselves a round of applause for affordable housing. The mayor has made affordable housing a priority, and we love it. This is how we make our money. This is how we turn units. And this is really a culmination of a dream. Little did I know that I would be involved with a transaction where one of my fraternity brothers would be named for this project. And Todd Lee was a proud member of Kappa Alpha Psi, of which we are very happy to have this building in his name. Then further, I went to high school with one of the construction companies. Little did I know that Bull would select Broughton Construction, but Casey Stringer and I were at Wilson High School together. So I'm really proud of this project that allowed a lot of my personal life to become involved with what's happening here. We're very happy with the partnership with Dante's Partners. Bull is a great partner. He treats us very well, and we're a small equity partner in this transaction. So we look forward to the several more transactions that we will do with Boa and Gilbane to make certain that affordable housing is a place that you can go and live in the District of Columbia. Thank you.
I'll try to make this as quick as Kenneth did. It's a little hot, as I think a lot of you guys know. But, I took over Mid-Atlantic region in January of this year. So I didn't have nearly as much of a hand as everyone else who's standing here today did. But the one thing Michael Levine, my boss, told me from Wells Fargo. Sorry, I'm from Wells Fargo. My bad. We're the federal investor, invested $5 million in this project. Yeah, and we're committed to D.C. too. We're going to do $350 million in D.C. by 2022, and we're already 75% there. So hopefully we can crush that. But the one thing Mike Levine, my boss, head of Wells Fargo, told me was, hey, whatever you do, make sure Bua's happy, and he can do what Bua does. And I was like, that's kind of strange. And he goes, I go by Park Hill. He goes, Park Hill's personal. And I found that very interesting. And I was like, okay, and as I've gotten to know Bua, I got it. Bua has personal relationships with everyone here. He's brought everyone to this table. It's very personal to him. I guarantee you this project's very personal to Terry. And clearly, Mayor Bowser, it's unbelievably personal to her. So, I think what happens when it's personal, people can do amazing things. And, I'm here today because I was told, Park Hill, you're getting on a plane because this is personal. So thank you, Bua. Thank you, Mayor Bowser, and everything. And obviously all the partners that put this together today. So thank you.
Matthew, I won't sing today. So I have been tasked with providing a few benediction remarks. Bua started off asking, won't he do it? And I said, yes, he will. And we're going to wrap this on up. First of all, to my mayor, I'm going to just start calling you Miss 400 million. Just be done with it. I see you're 400 million with 1.2 billion in bond cap, and we're going to make this happen. Mr. Deputy Mayor, Mr. 36,000 by 2025. To my colleagues in the housing ecosystem, my brothers and sisters in arms, and those of us who are responsible for doing this every day, I feel honored and I feel privileged to be here in this moment. And so over the last couple of weeks, I've thought a lot about what I would say when the opportunity came for me to speak. And one word kept coming up over and over and over again, and it was legacy. Legacy is defined by Merriam-Webster's dictionary as something that is bequeathed to the generation coming after us, usually a gift of money. Legacy can be defined within the context of an educational institution or selective member organization as one who belongs because their mother or father did. But legacy also has a very different and unique and nuanced meaning. Legacy is like a mountain that withstands the test of time, that weathers against the rain, the sun, and the wind, and yet still it endures. It endures and is enduring. So when we talk about legacy here today, let me put it in some context for you. Mayor Bowser, you remember legacy from the likes of Maynard and Marion and Sharon and Jim and David and Harold all across the country, black leaders and municipalities making a change. And so that is a legacy for which you stand. There are other legacies as well, and the legacy of our friend and our brother and our father, Todd A. Lee, was a legacy that was so amazing, someone who was so bright and so brilliant and such a wonderful black man that he inspired so many. Todd Lee had a legacy of being able to call out that clarion call and for legions to come and want to follow him because he was such an amazing leader. Todd was so committed to his people and bending capital to his will for the production of affordable housing in our communities that had been underserved, that was a part of his legacy. But Todd was also quite the character. I'll tell you 2 stories about Todd. One night at 10 o'clock, I'm in my basement on the phone with Todd Lee. We had one of our underwriters who isn't here with us right now. And Todd, unfortunately, because he made bad decisions, Ken, about the fraternity he joined, was talking about how pretty he was. And it's 10 o'clock at night, and this man is telling me about how pretty he was to compare it to the excellence that we should exhibit in the work we do. And I thought to myself, bruh, it's 10 o'clock. You need to get off my phone and go upstairs and talk to your wife. The second thing that I remember about Todd is how proud he was of being a family man. How he beamed when he talked about Tristan going up the middle and tackling people who were twice his size. And I'll never forget the moment I sat in his office when his daughter was there with us and she smiled. And I watched him sit across from her and beam with such pride and such joy. And I'll never forget when something was hard, he'd be like, I'm going home and I'm talking to Melissa about that tonight and we're going to figure it out. So Todd's legacy was about family. But it wasn't just about his immediate family. It was about his family that he worked with every day, and for the men and the women who worked at the agency who followed him, so committed. He was an amazing man. He inspired all of us. And so I am grateful that I had the opportunity to share in the experience of being part of a team for which Todd Lee led. I really want to stop and to acknowledge that team who worked incredibly hard over the last 18 months to carry on his legacy and to do the things that needed to be done. Thank you. Thank you. We also spent some time at the beginning of last year thinking about what could we do and what could we establish to honor his memory. And so the team created a new scholarship called the Todd A. Lee Scholarship Fund, which honors people who are in graduate school, who are studying real estate, and who have made a commitment to come back to the community and to invest their time and their talents in affordable housing. We have some of those scholars here with us today. Jason Harris, who's at Georgetown. Jason, are you here? Wave your hand. Khalif Bradford from the University of Maryland. And Lee Goldstein, who I don't believe is with us this morning. So thank you all for continuing to be acolytes in his memory. Todd loved hip-hop, and this was a love that he and Bua shared very much. And it was always funny because Todd, when he was talking trash, he'd pull you over to the side and he'd have a story about a hip-hop song. And so one of his favorite songs was about a time when an older man told a younger man about how he was going to grow. And the lyrics from the song from Sean Carter were, "It's time to come up and hold my own weight, defend my crown. I gotta lock it down, and when they rush, stand my ground. It's time to come up, stick up my chest, and make some loot. I got to lock it down, and when they rush, stand on my own too." I love you, my friend. We honor you, my friend, and we are terribly excited to be here. With that, I want to bring up his wife, Melissa Lee, an amazing force unto herself. Melissa, we have something for you, so come on up. And before I do that, let me just honor some of his family who's here as well. Shanita Lee, his sister. David Thomas, Gail Lewis, Tori Stout, Landon Lewis, and Stephanie Washington. Thank you all for allowing us to be a part of his life. So, Melissa, I'm going to make a presentation and I'm going to turn it over to you.
Okay.
Okay? So, we have, these are floor plans for the building, and each of these units has somebody from the family's name on it. So the Lee, the Melissa, the Brooklyn, and the Tristan. Okay? And then, we have a big old pair of scissors that we'll cut the ribbon with, and you'll be able to take with you. And we're not done. And Janita, you can actually take this one. This is another floor plan. Okay? And another pair of the scissors for you.
Thank you.
We'll help you with these out to the car. So with that,
Thank you, Chris. Good afternoon. I'd like to start by saying this building is beautiful. It's a stunning representation of luxury, affordable housing. My late husband, Todd Lee, was energized anytime he talked about real estate. However, his real estate passion was on full display when he engaged about DCHFA's programs and the collaboration with the real estate development community. It's an honor to be here for today's ribbon cutting, celebrating the delivery of affordable housing for our city's seniors. I know there are many people that come together to deliver a vision, and I would like to thank everyone who worked to support the delivery of the Todd A. Lee Senior Residences. I would especially like to thank Mayor Bowser, Bua Benitier, and the Dante's Partners family, Harvey Yancey and the H2 family, and Christopher Donald and the DCHFA family for your unwavering and continuous support of Todd's legacy. Tristan, Brooklyn, and I, as well as Todd's extended family, are proud of Todd's contributions to the Washington, D.C. real estate community and extremely grateful to the many people who work to keep his memory alive. Thank you all.
Thank you, everyone. Now we're going to officially open the building. And right before that, big shout out to the entire Dante's Partners team who are back here. I see you all. It's almost 60 people, everyone. I don't know how we got here, but it's a lot of folks. So thank you all very much. Obviously to the Fourier team as well, to the architecture team that made this possible, Soto Architecture. So let's talk a little bit about impact real quickly. This is what Todd and I talked about all the time right before it passed. Because of what the mayor has been able to put together, we were able to create long-lasting impact with a small project such as this. It's majority black-owned, majority built by, actually 100% built by a black firm, and designed by Soto Architecture, which is a brown firm, and going to be managed by a black-owned firm. This is what impact does. We can do it in the city, and we're able to do it in the city, and that's a legacy that Chris spoke about that we hope to continue to do for as long as you all give us the opportunity to do so. So thank you all very much for coming out here. We appreciate you all being here, and let's go cut this ribbon and open this building up. Appreciate it. Thank you. What's up, Bo? I see you. I see you, Bo. And thank you to all the wives that made this possible. My wife is here. My kids are here. All of our significant others. Thank you. Let's do this.
Okay, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.